notes. Okay, so we are at stage 7,
Mhm.
paragraph page 540.
Mhm.
And our last headword was relate to, new word type of lesson. Okay, so let's start
Yes.
with revision. Ready?
Okay.
Here we go. First question. What's another word we can use instead of put? What's another word we can use instead of put? Another word we
Another
can
word
use
we can
instead of
use
put
instead of
is
put
lay.
is they.
What are the three forms of lay? What are the three forms of lay? The three
The
forms
three
of
forms
lay
of
are
laid
lay,
are
laid,
laid,
laid.
laid.
What did I lay on the table at the beginning of the lesson? What did I lay on the table at the beginning of the lesson? You laid your books
You laid
on
your
the
books
table
on the
at the
table
beginning
at
of
the
the
beginning
lesson.
of the lesson.
About how many times a year do most birds lay their eggs? About how many times a year do most birds lay their eggs? Most birds
Most
lay their
birds
eggs
laid
once a year.
your bed once a year.
Very good. Who lays the table in your house? Who lays the table in your house?
I
Lay
laid
the
a
table
table
in my house.
in my house.
Very good. Me too. Okay. Do you think it's possible for a person to go through his entire life without telling a single lie? Do you think it's possible for a person to go through his entire life without telling a single lie? Yes or no?
No,
I don't think
I
it's
don't think
possible for a
it's
person
possible
to
for a
go
person
through his
to go
entire
through
life
his entire
w-
life
without telling
without
a
telling
single lie.
a single lie
Why not? Why not? Because every
because
now and
every now
again
and
it
again
may be
it
necessary
may be
to
necessary
tell a small
to
lie.
tell a small lie.
How wide is a single bed? How wide is a single bed? A single bed
A
is
single bed
about
is
3 feet
about
wide.
3 feet wide.
When traveling, is it usually cheaper to buy two single tickets or a return ticket? When traveling, is it usually cheaper to buy two single tickets or a return ticket? When traveling,
When
it's
traveling,
usually cheaper
it's usually
to
cheaper
buy a.
to buy a return ticket.
Very good. What are the three forms of fight? What are the three forms of fight? The three
The
forms of
three
fight
forms of
are
fight
fight, fought,
are
fought.
fight, fought, fought.
What countries has your country fought against in the past? What countries has your country fought against in the past? My country
My
has fought
country
against,
has fought against
let's say,
the USA
in the past.
in the past.
Very good. Give me an example of the construction make plus object plus adjective. Give me an example of the construction, the word make plus object plus adjective, please. Work makes
Work
us tired.
makes us tired.
Very good. Give me an example of the construction keep plus object plus adjective. Give me an example of the construction keep plus object plus adjective, please. Exercise keeps you
Exercise,
healthy.
it keeps you healthy.
Very good. Which would you rather look after for a week? A baby or a horse? Which would you rather look after for a week? A baby or a horse? I'd rather look
I'd rather
after
look
a
after a baby
for a week
for a week
than a horse.
than a horse
Why? Why? Because
because a baby is cute.
a horse is not. It's very big. Okay, next. Why is it that children so often don't know how to behave themselves when there are no adults to watch over them? Why is it that children so often don't know how to behave themselves when there are no adults to watch over them? I think the reason
I think the
children
reason
so often don't know.
so often don't know.
One more. I think the reason
I think the reason
children so often
children so
don't
mm,
know
don't know
how to behave
how to
themselves
behave themselves
when there are
when
no
there are
adults to
no
watch
adult
over them
to watch over
is
them.
that they don't
It's that
know the
they don't
difference
know the
between
difference
right and wrong.
between right and wrong.
Very good. What happens to children who behave badly? What happens to children who behave badly? Children who
To
behave
children
badly.
to behave
Omar,
badly.
children who
Children
behave
who
badly
behave
are
badly
sometimes
are
sent to
sometimes
bed early
sent to bed
by
early
their parents.
by their parents.
Very good. Are people usually on their best behavior during job interviews? Are people usually on their best behavior during job interviews? Yes, people are
Yes,
usually
people are usually
on their best
on
behavior
their best behavior
during job interviews.
during job interviews.
Where if you were walking home late at night and saw a man trying to break into a shop, would you inform the police? If you're walking home late at night and saw a man trying to break into a shop, would you inform the police? Yes or no?
Yes,
If I were
if I
walking
were walking
home late at night
home late at
and
night
saw a man
and saw a man
trying to break
trying to break
into a shop,
into a
I'd
shop,
inform the
I'd
police.
inform call the police.
I'd inform
Hmm?
the police.
I'd inform the police.
Very good. Okay. If you were carrying some heavy shopping bags and someone offered to carry one for you, what could you say? If you were carrying some heavy shopping bags and someone offered to carry one for you, what could you say? If I were
If I
carrying
were
some
carrying
heavy
some
shopping
heavy
bags
shopping
and
bags
someone
and someone
offered to carry
offered
one
to
for
carry
me,
one
I
for
could
me,
say, thank
I
you.
could say,
That's
thank you,
very kind of
that's
you.
very kind of you.
Where if one behaves with kindness to another person, does that person usually return the kindness? If one behaves with kindness to another person, does that person usually return the kindness? Yes. If
Yes,
one
if
behaves
one
with
behave
kindness
with
to
kindness
another person,
to another
that
person,
person usually
that person
returns
usually
the kindness.
returns the kindness.
Very good. Okay. Give me first a negative and then a positive answer of the following question. Okay. Here we go. Is it far from there to the next town? Is it far from there to the next town? No, it
No,
isn't far
it
from
isn't
here
far
to the
from
next
here
town.
to the next town.
Yes, it's a long
Yes,
way
it's
from
all a
here
long way from
to the
here
next town.
to the next town.
Did you walk very far yesterday? Did you walk very far yesterday? No, I
No,
didn't walk
I
very
didn't
far
walk
yesterday.
very far yesterday.
Yes, I walk
Yes, I
a
walked
long way
a
yesterday.
long way yesterday.
Very good. Give me an example of the expression too far. Give me an example of the expression too far, please. It's too far
It's too
to
far
walk to the
to
station.
walk to the to station.
Let's get a
Let's
taxi.
get a taxi.
Very good. When do we generally use the word distant instead of far? When do we generally use the word distant instead of far? We generally
We
use
generally
the
use
word distant
the word
instead of
distance
far
instead of
as
far
an adjective
as an adjective
before a noun.
before a noun.
Very good. Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I could see some
I
sheep
could see some sheep
in a distant field.
in the distance field.
Very good. Do you have any distant relations living in another country? Do you have any distant relations living in another country? Yes or no?
Yes,
I have
I
some
have
distant
some
relations
distance
living
relations
in another
living
country.
in another countries.
If you could look into the far distant future, what would you like to see there for yourself and for the world generally? If you could look into the far distant future, what would you like to see there for yourself and for the world generally? If I could look
If I could
into
look
the far
into
distant
the far
future,
distance
I'd
teacher,
like to see
I like to
happiness
see
for
happiness
myself
for
and
myself
for the world
and for the world
generally.
generally.
Very good. If you had had a choice of being born in any period throughout history, which period would you have chosen? If you had had a choice of being born in any period throughout history, which period would you have chosen? If I had
If I
had the
had
choice
had the
of
choice
being born
of being
in
born
any period
in any period
throughout history,
throughout
I'd have
history,
chosen,
I'd have chosen
what period? Dinosaur period, prehistoric period, or modern period?
uh, eh,
This period? Modern period?
this
Very good.
period.
Modern period. Very good. You don't like the dinosaur period. Okay. Why? Why do you like the modern period? Because
Because I like modern mm,
modern
period.
technology. Modern period.
Mm.
Very good. Okay. Next. Have you ever gone throughout the entire winter without catching a single cold? Have you ever gone throughout the entire winter without catching a single cold? Yes or no?
No,
I've never gone
I've never
throughout
gone
the
throughout
entire winter
the entire
without
winter without catching
catching a single cold.
catching a single cold.
Greg, do you believe that people are more or less the same throughout the world, or do you believe there are real basic differences? Do you believe that people are all more or less the same throughout the world, or do you believe there are real basic differences? Yes or no?
Yes,
I believe
I
that
believe
people are
that people
all more
are
or
all
less
more or less
the same
the
throughout
same
the world.
throughout the world.
Very good. What do we mean by a government official? What do we mean by a government official? By a government
By a
official,
government
we mean
official,
someone
we mean
who
someone
works for the
for
government,
the
who
government
works
who who works
for the government,
for the government,
usually with a
usually
certain amount
with a certain
of
amount
power,
power
of power.
of power.
Very good. What do we mean by the official language of a country? What do we mean by the official language of a country? By the official
By the
language
official
of a
language
country,
of a
we
country,
mean the
we
language
mean the
that
language
is used
that is
by the
used
government
by the
and in
government
schools
and in
in
school
countries
in
where a
country
number
where a
of
number
different
of
languages
different
are
languages
spoken.
are spoken.
Very good. Next, would you like to be a priest? Would you like to be a priest? Yes or no?
No,
I wouldn't
I
like
wouldn't
to be
like
a priest.
to be a place
Why not? Why not? Because?
because I'm not Christian.
Very good. Okay, next. What do we mean when we say that some people don't practice what they preach? What do we mean when we say that some people don't practice what they preach? When we say that
When we
some
say
people
that some
don't
people
practice
don't
what they
practice
preach,
what
we
they
mean
preach,
that
we
they
mean
give
that they
advice
give
to other
advice
people
to other
about
people
what is
about
right, what
what is
is right, but they
right,
don't
but
follow
they don't
this
follow
advice
this advice
themselves.
themselves.
Greg, which countries does the United Kingdom include? Which countries does the United Kingdom include? The United Kingdom
The United Kingdom
includes England,
includes England,
Northern Ireland,
Northern Ireland,
Scotland,
Scotland,
and Wales.
and Wales.
What is a kingdom? What is a kingdom? A kingdom is
The
a
kingdom
country
is a
which
country
has a king
which has a king,
or a queen
a queen,
as its head.
its head.
Very good. Are there any pretty flowers growing outside your building? Are there any pretty flowers growing outside your building? Yes or no?
Yes,
There are
there
some
are
pretty
some
flowers
pretty flowers
growing outside
growing
my building.
outside my building.
If you only got 5 hours sleep tonight, would you feel pretty tired tomorrow morning? If you only got 5 hours sleep tonight, would you feel pretty tired tomorrow morning? Yes. If
Yes,
I only
if
got
I only got
5 hours
five
sleep
hours
tonight,
sleep
I'd
tonight,
feel pretty
I'd
tired
feel pretty tired
tomorrow morning.
tomorrow morning.
Very good. What does the idiom hang on mean? What does the idiom hang on mean? The idiom
The
hang
idiom
on means
hang on mean
wait.
wait.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Hang on a minute.
Hang on a
I think
minute.
I have
I think I
his
had
address.
a
His address
his address
in my book
is in my
somewhere.
book somewhere.
Very good. Okay, next. What is a relative clause? What is a relative clause? A relative
A
clause
relative
is a
clause
clause
is a
that
clause
we use
that we
to
use
describe a noun.
with, um,
To
with
describe a noun.
to describe a noun.
Very good. Where do we put a relative clause? Where do we put a relative clause? We put a
We put
relative
a
clause
relative clause
immediately after the
immediately
noun
after the
it
noun
describes.
it describes.
What do we call the words who, which, and that? What do we call the words who, which, and that? We call
We
the
call
words
the
who,
word who,
which, and that
which, and that
relative pronouns.
relative pronouns.
Very good. Okay, next. What's the difference between who, which, and that? What's the difference between who, which, and that? The difference between
The difference
who,
between
which,
who,
and that
which, and
is
that
that
is
we use
that we
who
use who
for people,
for people,
which for
which
things and
for things
animals,
and animals,
and that
and
for
that
people,
for
things,
people,
and animals.
things, and animals.
Give me a sentence with a relative clause in it. Give me a sentence with a relative clause in it, please. I know a man
I know a
who
man
lives
who
in that
lives
street.
in that street.
The film, the
The film
film that I saw
that
yesterday
I saw yesterday
was great.
was great.
Very good. Okay, now I will say two sentences and I want you to join them together using a relative clause. Okay? Number one, yesterday I saw a film. The film lasted for 3 hours. Yesterday I saw a film. The film lasted for 3 hours. Yesterday I saw
Yesterday
a film
I saw a film that
lasted for 3 hours. Okay?
uh,
That
lasted
lasted
that lasted
for
three
three
hours
hours.
for 3 hours.
Very good. Next, Mary has a friend. Her friend lives on a boat. Mary has a friend. Her friend lives on a boat. Mary has a friend.
Mary has a friend who
Lives on a boat.
lives on a boat.
Very good. I am reading a book. My mother gave me the book. I am reading a book. My mother gave me the book. I am reading a
I am
book.
reading a book who
Now, who is for people?
that
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 my mother gave
that
me.
my mother gave me
Very
a
good.
book. いらない。
Next, the waiter dropped a tray. He was carrying the tray. The waiter dropped a tray. He was carrying the tray. The waiter
The
dropped
waiter
the tray
dropped a tray that
he was
was
carrying.
he was carrying.
Very good. Okay, and that's the end of our revision. Very good. Let's have new word. Okay, repeat. Proper.
Proper
Player.
tray
Side.
side
Doorway.
doorway.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word side is a noun. For example, left side, right side, side A, side B, or team A, team B, which side you're in. The word player is a noun. A player is a person who plays a sport or game. For example, there are 11 players on each side of a game of football. Proper is an adjective. Proper means exactly correct. For example, the proper number of players on each side for a game of football is 11. Doorway is a noun. Doorway means the space in front of a door. So this is the doorway in front of a door. For example, the cat went through the doorway of the main door. Okay, let's practice. What is the proper number of players on each side for a game of football? What is the proper number of players on each side for a game of football? The proper number
The
of
proper number
players
of
on
players
each side
on each
for a
side
game of
for a
football
game of football
is 11.
is 11.
Is it considered improper behavior in your country for a man to go through a doorway in front of a woman? Is it considered improper behavior in your country for a man to go through a doorway in front of a woman? Yes or no?
Yes,
It's considered
it's considered
improper behavior
improper
in my country.
in my
Improper
country.
behavior
Im- Improper behavior
in my country
in my
for a
country
man
for a
to
man
go through a
to go
doorway
through a doorway
in front of a woman.
in front of a woman.
Very good. Next, repeat backwards,
Backwards,
forwards,
forwards,
sideways,
sideways,
upwards,
upwards,
downwards.
downwards.
Very good. Okay, listen. The words backwards, forwards, sideways, etc. mean towards the back, towards the front, towards the side, etc. Okay, let's practice. What do the words backwards, forwards, sideways, etc. mean? What do the words backwards, forwards, etc. mean? The words
The words
backwards,
backwards,
forwards, sideways,
forwards, sideways,
etc. mean
etc. mean
towards the back,
towards the back,
towards the front,
towards the front,
towards the side,
towards the side,
etc.
etc.
Very good. Okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're moving
You are moving
backwards and forwards.
backwards and
Wait,
forwards,
forwards. Very good.
forwards.
What am I doing? What am I doing? You're moving
You are moving
sideways.
sideways.
Very good. What's my hand doing? What's my hand doing? Your hands
Your
moving
hand moving
upwards and
upwards
downwards.
and downwards.
Very good. Count the numbers in English from 10 to 15 backwards quickly. Count the numbers in English from 10 to 15 backwards quickly, please. 15,
15,
14,
14,
13, 12,
13, 12,
11,
11,
10.
10,
Very good.
9.
Up to 10
조금만 해.
only. Okay, so what are you doing? What are you doing? I am counting the
I'm
numbers
counting the
in
number
English
in
from
English
10 to
from
15
10 to 15
backwards quickly.
backwards quickly.
Very good. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're looking
You are
upwards.
looking upward.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Okay, so our reading is at page 6, paragraph
Hmm?
page 441. Page 6, 441. Last headword was
Yes.
rose. Okay, please start at page 442. How
Okay.
high, mile,
How high, mile, point, kilometers,